Marriage is one of the most significant commitments you'll ever make in life. It is not a transaction or a mere arrangement. It is a binding promise to face life together. And to do that, you need to be discerning, ruthlessly discerning about who you choose to share your life with. You cannot afford to marry someone who manipulates you with guilt and endless drama. Such a person will reduce your life to chaos, not because they mean to, but because that's all they know. And your role in their life is a never-ending savior. But here's the truth: you cannot save someone who refuses to save themselves. Marriage demands mutual respect. If your partner disrespects your boundaries, they are not just eroding your limits, they are assaulting your dignity. Someone who belittles your concerns, disregards your needs, or tries to control every aspect of your life is not fit for the sanctity of marriage. Negativity, too, is an anchor. It will sink your joy, ambition, and even your health. A partner consumed by bitterness or self-pity will not see you as an ally, they'll see you as an accomplice in their misery. You are not a cure for someone else's unhappiness. And let's not forget the importance of financial compatibility. A reckless spender or someone who views money as a bottomless pit will sabotage your collective future. Don't fool yourself into thinking love alone is enough. Love needs a foundation. And that foundation includes trust, responsibility, and shared goals. Finally, narcissism is a cancer to relationships. A narcissist doesn't seek a partner, they seek an audience. They will demand your devotion while offering none in return. They will weaponize your vulnerabilities to serve their ego. Never let their charm blind you to their underlying selfishness. Be vigilant. Be intentional. Marriage is not a game, it's a lifelong mission. Choose wisely. Marriage is an extraordinary union of two people built on mutual trust, respect, and shared values. It is not merely a romantic fantasy, but a profoundly practical and emotional partnership. Yet, one of the greatest threats to this sacred bond is the presence of emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulators, often disguised as loving and caring partners, are experts in controlling their partners through subtle, insidious tactics. Recognizing such individuals before committing to marriage is not just advisable, it is essential for your mental and emotional well-being. Emotional manipulators thrive on power imbalances in relationships. Their hallmark is the ability to make you question your own feelings, values, and even sanity. They are experts at deflecting responsibility, ensuring that every argument ends with you questioning yourself instead of evaluating their actions. It begins subtly, with small criticisms that seem harmless on the surface. They may tell you that you are too sensitive or that your concerns are overblown, but over time, these small acts of invalidation erode your confidence and self-trust. The manipulator's goal is simple: to maintain control by destabilizing your sense of self. These individuals are masters of the guilt trip. They know how to twist any situation to make themselves the victim, leaving you feeling as though you must constantly apologize or make up for some imagined wrongdoing. For example, if you bring up an issue that concerns you, instead of addressing it, they may respond with dramatic proclamations about how difficult their life is or how your words have hurt them. This tactic ensures that you feel guilty for even voicing your needs or discomfort. Slowly, your ability to advocate for yourself diminishes, leaving the manipulator firmly in control of the emotional dynamic. Another strategy of emotional manipulators is the art of selective affection. They withhold love and approval when you do not conform to their expectations and lavish you with attention when you do. This creates a cycle of dependency, where you feel compelled to meet their every demand just to experience fleeting moments of connection and validation. Over time, this conditional affection becomes the cornerstone of the relationship, and your identity becomes enmeshed in their approval. You begin to lose sight of your individuality and needs, sacrificing them at the altar of their satisfaction. A critical trait of emotional manipulators is their refusal to take responsibility for their actions. If they make a mistake, the blame is quickly shifted onto you or external circumstances. For instance, if their behavior causes conflict, they might accuse you of being the one who provoked them or overreacted. This refusal to acknowledge fault not only stifles communication, but also creates a dynamic where you are perpetually on the defensive. Instead of addressing and resolving issues, you find yourself trapped in a cycle of justification and self-doubt. In addition to these tactics, emotional manipulators often employ excessive drama to maintain control. They thrive on creating crises where none exist, ensuring that your focus remains on their needs and problems rather than your own. Every disagreement becomes an existential battle, every slight a catastrophic betrayal. The result is a relationship consumed by turmoil, where genuine intimacy and connection are overshadowed by constant emotional turbulence. The long-term effects of being in a relationship with an emotional manipulator are profound. The constant undermining of your confidence and autonomy can lead to anxiety, depression, and a deep sense of unworthiness. You may find yourself isolated from friends and family, as manipulators often seek to distance you from outside perspectives that could challenge their control. Over time, the relationship becomes less about partnership and more about survival, with you expending all your energy just to maintain a semblance of peace. Recognizing an emotional manipulator is not always easy. Their tactics are often subtle, cloaked in gestures of affection and care. But once you identify the patterns, it becomes clear that their love comes at a cost to your sense of self. Marriage to such a person is not just difficult, it is a life of perpetual compromise and sacrifice, where your well-being is secondary to their need for control. Choosing a life partner is one of the most significant decisions you will ever make. It is not enough to be swept away by charm, passion, or surface-level compatibility. Look deeper. Pay attention to how a person responds to conflict, how they handle criticism, and whether they are willing to accept accountability for their actions. Emotional manipulators may present themselves as loving partners, but their true nature reveals itself over time. Do not ignore the warning signs. Your future, your happiness, and your identity are worth protecting. Boundaries are not merely guidelines, they are the invisible lines that define who you are as an individual. They safeguard your identity, values, and emotional health in relationships. In a marriage, mutual respect for boundaries is essential. Without it, the relationship becomes unbalanced, with one partner dominating while the other sacrifices their needs and autonomy. Disrespecting boundaries is not only a sign of immaturity, but also a dangerous red flag that signals deeper issues of control and disregard. Before committing to a lifetime partnership, it is crucial to recognize and understand the warning signs of someone who disregards boundaries. A person who disrespects boundaries often does so under the guise of intimacy or love. They might argue that their actions stem from caring too much or wanting to be closer to you. However, these justifications are deceptive. For instance, they may insist on having access to your private conversations, emails, or social media accounts, claiming that a healthy relationship has no secrets. While transparency in marriage is important, forced transparency rooted in control rather than trust is a clear violation of boundaries. Such behavior is not about connection, but about surveillance and power. Another common way boundary violations manifest is through constant interruptions of your personal time and space. You might find that your partner disregards your need for solitude or time with friends and family. They may react negatively, even accusing you of being distant or unloving when you express a desire to have time to yourself. This reaction reveals a lack of understanding or respect for the fact that individuality and personal time are essential for maintaining a healthy relationship. A partner who cannot allow you the space to recharge and grow as an individual will inevitably stifle your personal development. In many cases, those who disrespect boundaries often test them in subtle, almost imperceptible ways at first. For example, they may override your preferences in small decisions, like what to eat, where to go, or how to spend your weekends. While these actions might seem trivial, they often escalate into larger issues where your voice is no longer considered. Over time, this pattern erodes your confidence in asserting your needs and preferences, leaving you feeling as though your opinions don't matter. This dynamic can lead to a relationship where one partner dominates decision-making while the other feels voiceless and disregarded. Boundary violations also extend into emotional territories. A partner who dismisses your feelings or invalidates your experiences is undermining your emotional boundaries. For example, if you express frustration or sadness and they respond with comments like "you're overreacting" or "you're just being dramatic," they are not only minimizing your emotions but also asserting control over what is considered acceptable for you to feel. This kind of behavior creates an unsafe emotional environment where you are forced to suppress your genuine reactions to avoid conflict or criticism. Financial boundaries can also become a significant issue in relationships where one partner disrespects limits. Imagine a scenario where you and your partner have agreed on a budget, but they repeatedly overspend or make significant financial decisions without consulting you. Such actions reflect a lack of regard for the shared responsibility that marriage requires. Disrespect for financial boundaries often leads to conflict, mistrust, and long-term instability in the partnership. One of the most troubling aspects of a partner who disrespects boundaries is their unwillingness to acknowledge when they have crossed a line. Instead of reflecting on their behavior and taking accountability, they may become defensive, dismissive, or even turn the blame on you. They might accuse you of being too rigid or unreasonable for having boundaries in the first place. This reaction reveals a fundamental incompatibility in how they view respect and partnership. A healthy relationship requires both partners to honor and adapt to each other's boundaries, not to trample over them in pursuit of their own desires. The long-term impact of being in a relationship with someone who disrespects boundaries can be devastating. Over time, you may find yourself feeling drained, disoriented, and disconnected from your own identity. The constant need to defend your limits and assert your needs can create a sense of exhaustion and resentment. Furthermore, the absence of mutual respect and understanding undermines trust, the cornerstone of any successful marriage. Without trust, even the strongest love cannot sustain a relationship. It is important to recognize that boundaries are not barriers to intimacy, they are the foundation of it. They create a safe space where both partners can thrive as individuals while building a shared life together. A partner who dismisses or disrespects your boundaries does not truly see you as an equal, but as someone to mold, control, or dominate. This is not love, it is an imbalance of power that will only deepen over time. Marrying someone who cannot respect your boundaries is a decision that will lead to a lifetime of frustration, conflict, and emotional strain. Protect your autonomy, honor your needs, and choose a partner who values you for the individual you are. Boundaries are not just personal, they are essential for the health and sustainability of any relationship. Negativity in life is inevitable. We all face challenges, disappointments, and hardships. However, chronic negativity, the persistent inability to see anything but the bad in situations, can be toxic, especially in a marriage. Marrying someone who is habitually negative is not just an emotional burden, it's a decision that can severely impact your mental health, sense of optimism, and overall quality of life. It is essential to understand the profound effects of chronic negativity and why it should never be overlooked when considering a lifelong partner. A chronically negative person often has a pattern of focusing on problems rather than solutions. In their world, every difficulty becomes an insurmountable obstacle, and every inconvenience is exaggerated into a disaster. For example, if something minor goes wrong, like a late delivery or a rainy day, it can spiral into hours of complaints, finger-pointing, or brooding. Over time, this constant focus on the negative becomes exhausting for their partner, who may find themselves in the role of perpetual cheerleader or problem solver. Instead of addressing issues constructively, the relationship becomes centered around managing their unhappiness, leaving little room for shared joy or personal growth. Chronic negativity can also manifest as a pattern of blame and victimhood. People who are stuck in a negative mindset often see themselves as powerless victims of circumstances. They may blame their unhappiness on external factors, their job, their upbringing, or even you. This mindset not only prevents them from taking accountability for their actions, but also creates a relationship dynamic where their partner is expected to constantly validate their feelings and shield them from the perceived unfairness of life. Such a dynamic is not sustainable. No one can carry the weight of another person's unrelenting dissatisfaction indefinitely. Another damaging aspect of chronic negativity is its contagious nature. Negativity has a way of seeping into the fabric of your daily life. Imagine a scenario where you're feeling excited about a new opportunity or a small personal achievement. Instead of celebrating with you, your partner responds with skepticism, pointing out the risks, the potential downsides, or why it might not work out. Over time, this pattern chips away at your enthusiasm and confidence. You begin to second-guess your decisions and internalize their negative worldview, making it harder to pursue your goals or find joy in life. Financial stress is another area where chronic negativity can take a heavy toll. A perpetually negative partner may see every financial decision through the lens of fear and pessimism. They might resist investing in opportunities, refuse to take calculated risks, or dwell obsessively on the possibility of failure. This attitude can stifle the ability to build a secure and prosperous future together. Instead of working as a team to tackle financial challenges, you may find yourself locked in endless debates about worst-case scenarios, unable to move forward constructively. Chronic negativity also has profound effects on communication and emotional intimacy. Someone who is constantly negative may struggle to express gratitude or appreciation, focusing instead on what's lacking or what went wrong. In conversations, they might interrupt positive moments with complaints or derail meaningful discussions with their grievances. Over time, this lack of emotional reciprocity creates a sense of disconnection. The relationship begins to feel one-sided, with one partner pouring energy into keeping things afloat while the other remains focused on their grievances. Perhaps most troubling is the impact chronic negativity can have on your mental and physical health. Being in a relationship with someone who is persistently pessimistic can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and even depression. The emotional labor required to support a chronically negative partner can leave you feeling drained and unfulfilled. This stress often manifests physically with symptoms like fatigue, headaches, or a weakened immune system. A marriage should be a source of strength and stability, not a constant drain on your well-being. It's important to recognize that chronic negativity often stems from unresolved personal issues or deeply ingrained thought patterns. While it's not your responsibility to fix these problems, it's crucial to understand that they will inevitably affect the relationship. A negative person may resist attempts to reframe their perspective or seek help, leaving you in a position where you're constantly trying to mitigate the fallout of their mindset. Without their willingness to change, the relationship will remain stuck in a cycle of frustration and unhappiness. A successful marriage is built on shared positivity, hope, and resilience. These qualities allow couples to navigate challenges together, finding solutions and celebrating victories along the way. Chronic negativity, on the other hand, acts as a barrier to growth and intimacy. It casts a shadow over every aspect of life, from daily interactions to long-term planning. Choosing a partner who cannot break free from this cycle of negativity is not just a choice, it is a compromise that will cost you your joy, optimism, and sense of purpose. In relationships, as in life, it is crucial to surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. A marriage should be a partnership of mutual encouragement, where both individuals help each other grow and thrive. Chronic negativity has no place in such a union. Protect your energy, your dreams, and your future by choosing a partner who embraces life with hope and enthusiasm. Marriage is not just a union of two hearts, it is also a partnership that involves shared responsibilities, including financial ones. Money may not be the foundation of happiness, but financial stability plays a critical role in maintaining peace, security, and harmony in a marriage. Choosing a partner who is financially irresponsible is a decision that can lead to stress, conflict, and even the breakdown of the relationship. Financial irresponsibility reflects deeper issues of maturity, priorities, and respect, all of which are essential for a healthy partnership. Financial irresponsibility takes many forms, from reckless spending to chronic debt accumulation. A partner who spends beyond their means, regardless of the consequences, demonstrates a lack of foresight and self-control. They might justify their actions by saying they're living in the moment or treating themselves, but such behavior often ignores the long-term consequences. Over time, this pattern can lead to significant financial strain, including mounting debts, insufficient savings, and the inability to plan for major life events like buying a home, starting a family, or preparing for retirement. One of the most troubling aspects of financial irresponsibility is its impact on trust. When one partner repeatedly disregards financial agreements or hides their spending habits, it erodes the trust that is crucial for a successful marriage. For instance, if you've agreed on a budget and your partner consistently overspends or makes significant purchases without consulting you, it signals a lack of respect for your shared goals and priorities. This kind of behavior fosters resentment and frustration, creating tension that can spill over into other areas of the relationship. A financially irresponsible partner often lacks a sense of accountability. Instead of taking responsibility for their financial mistakes, they may blame external circumstances or expect others to bail them out. This mindset can place an undue burden on you as their partner to constantly cover for their shortfalls or manage the fallout of their poor decisions. Over time, this dynamic can become emotionally and financially exhausting, leaving you feeling more like a caretaker than an equal partner. Financial irresponsibility also affects the ability to build a secure future together. A partner who refuses to save, invest, or manage their money wisely puts both of you at risk. Major life goals such as purchasing a home, raising children, or even enjoying a vacation become far more challenging to achieve when one person's habits consistently derail the couple's financial plans. Furthermore, unexpected expenses such as medical bills or job loss can become catastrophic if there is no financial cushion to fall back on. A marriage thrives when both partners work together to create stability, not when one consistently undermines it. The stress caused by financial irresponsibility can seep into every aspect of the relationship. Money-related conflicts are among the most common issues couples face, and they can escalate quickly when one partner feels that their efforts to maintain financial stability are being disregarded. Even small disagreements about spending can balloon into larger arguments about priorities, values, and respect. This constant tension can erode the emotional intimacy and connection that are essential for a strong marriage. Another significant issue is how financial irresponsibility impacts family dynamics. If children are involved, the stakes become even higher. A partner who cannot manage money responsibly may struggle to provide for the family's basic needs, let alone ensure a stable and comfortable upbringing for the children. The inability to budget effectively, pay bills on time, or plan for the future creates an unstable environment that affects everyone involved. As a parent and spouse, your role is to provide a sense of security and structure, something that becomes increasingly difficult when your partner's financial habits work against you. It's also worth considering the emotional toll of constantly compensating for a financially irresponsible partner. The anxiety of living paycheck to paycheck, the frustration of watching your savings dwindle, or the humiliation of dealing with creditors can wear you down over time. This chronic stress can affect your physical health, your mental well-being, and your overall outlook on life. Instead of building a partnership based on shared goals and mutual support, you may find yourself in a relationship defined by imbalance and sacrifice. Financial irresponsibility often reflects deeper personality traits such as impulsiveness, a lack of discipline, or an inability to prioritize long-term goals over short-term gratification. These traits can spill over into other areas of the relationship, creating additional challenges. For example, a partner who is careless with money may also struggle with other forms of responsibility, such as managing time, fulfilling commitments, or maintaining healthy communication. These patterns can undermine the foundation of trust and reliability that every marriage needs. The stress caused by financial irresponsibility can seep into every aspect of the relationship. Money-related conflicts are among the most common issues couples face, and they can escalate quickly when one partner feels that their efforts to maintain financial stability are being disregarded. Even small disagreements about spending can balloon into larger arguments about priorities, values, and respect. This constant tension can erode the emotional intimacy and connection that are essential for a strong marriage. Another significant issue is how financial irresponsibility impacts family dynamics. If children are involved, the stakes become even higher. A partner who cannot manage money responsibly may struggle to provide for the family's basic needs, let alone ensure a stable and comfortable upbringing for the children. The inability to budget effectively, pay bills on time, or plan for the future creates an unstable environment that affects everyone involved. As a parent and spouse, your role is to provide a sense of security and structure, something that becomes increasingly difficult when your partner's financial habits work against you. It's also worth considering the emotional toll of constantly compensating for a financially irresponsible partner. The anxiety of living paycheck to paycheck, the frustration of watching your savings dwindle, or the humiliation of dealing with creditors can wear you down over time. This chronic stress can affect your physical health, your mental well-being, and your overall outlook on life. Instead of building a partnership based on shared goals and mutual support, you may find yourself in a relationship defined by imbalance and sacrifice. Financial irresponsibility often reflects deeper personality traits such as impulsiveness, a lack of discipline, or an inability to prioritize long-term goals over short-term gratification. These traits can spill over into other areas of the relationship, creating additional challenges. For example, a partner who is careless with money may also struggle with other forms of responsibility, such as managing time, fulfilling commitments, or maintaining healthy communication. These patterns can undermine the foundation of trust and reliability that every marriage needs. Financial compatibility is about more than just money. It's about shared values, mutual respect, and a commitment to building a life together. A partner who is financially responsible demonstrates maturity, self-discipline, and a willingness to work toward a shared vision for the future. In contrast, financial irresponsibility signals a lack of readiness for the challenges and responsibilities of marriage. Choosing to marry someone who is financially irresponsible is not just a gamble with money, it's a gamble with your peace of mind, your future stability, and your happiness. It is essential to have honest and open conversations about finances before entering into marriage. Look for a partner who understands the importance of planning, budgeting, and saving, not just for their own benefit, but for the health and longevity of your relationship. A strong marriage is built on trust, respect, and shared goals, and financial responsibility is a critical part of that foundation. Emotional maturity is the cornerstone of a healthy, lasting marriage. It is the ability to regulate one's emotions, communicate effectively, and handle the complexities of a relationship with grace and understanding. A partner who lacks emotional maturity may exhibit behaviors that undermine trust, respect, and connection, making it nearly impossible to build a stable and fulfilling life together. While love may initially gloss over these shortcomings, emotional immaturity inevitably reveals itself through patterns that can strain or even destroy the bond between two people. One of the clearest signs of emotional immaturity is an inability to manage emotions in a constructive way. An emotionally immature partner might have frequent outbursts of anger, frustration, or sadness, often over trivial matters. For instance, they might react disproportionately to a disagreement by sulking, yelling, or shutting down communication entirely. This behavior forces their partner to walk on eggshells, constantly trying to avoid triggering these outbursts. Over time, the unpredictability of their reactions creates an environment of emotional instability, where meaningful conversations and conflict resolution become almost impossible. Another hallmark of emotional immaturity is a tendency to avoid responsibility. Instead of owning up to mistakes, they might deflect blame onto others or offer excuses. For example, if they forget an important date or fail to follow through on a promise, they might claim they were too busy, accuse you of being unreasonable, or even shift the blame back onto you. This refusal to take accountability not only prevents growth but also damages trust, as their partner cannot rely on them to address and learn from their shortcomings. Emotional immaturity also manifests as poor communication skills. A mature partner is capable of expressing their needs, feelings, and concerns in a respectful and constructive manner. In contrast, an emotionally immature individual may resort to passive-aggressive behavior, sarcasm, or shutting down entirely during disagreements. Instead of seeking to resolve conflicts, they may escalate them or avoid them altogether, leaving issues unresolved and tension simmering. This inability to communicate effectively creates a cycle of misunderstandings and frustration, making it difficult to build a strong emotional connection. Another sign of emotional immaturity is a lack of empathy. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is essential in any relationship, but especially in marriage. An emotionally immature partner may struggle to see things from your perspective or dismiss your emotions as overreactions. For instance, if you express feeling hurt or unsupported, they might minimize your feelings by saying, "You're too sensitive," or shift the focus back to themselves. This lack of emotional attunement leaves you feeling unheard and undervalued, undermining the trust and intimacy that are crucial for a successful partnership. Emotional immaturity often extends to how a person handles conflict. Instead of approaching disagreements with a desire to find common ground, they may react defensively, become combative, or withdraw entirely. This pattern of avoidance or escalation prevents constructive problem solving and creates a dynamic where conflicts either fester or explode. Over time, this unhealthy approach to conflict erodes the foundation of mutual respect and understanding, making it difficult to navigate the inevitable challenges of married life. Another troubling aspect of emotional immaturity is its impact on personal growth. A mature partner understands the importance of self-improvement and actively works to address their flaws and grow as an individual. In contrast, an emotionally immature partner may resist change, refusing to acknowledge their weaknesses or make an effort to improve. This resistance stunts the growth of the relationship, as one partner is left to shoulder the emotional labor of maintaining the partnership while the other remains stagnant. Emotional immaturity also reveals itself in how a partner approaches long-term commitments. Marriage requires patience, compromise, and the ability to prioritize the needs of the partnership over personal desires. An emotionally immature individual may struggle with these demands, often putting their own needs and wants ahead of the relationship. For example, they may make impulsive decisions without considering their partner's feelings or needs, creating a dynamic where their actions constantly disrupt the balance of the marriage. Perhaps most damaging is the way emotional immaturity affects trust and emotional safety. A mature partner provides a stable and supportive presence, fostering an environment where both individuals feel secure and valued. In contrast, an emotionally immature partner may create a relationship marked by unpredictability and insecurity. Their inability to manage emotions, communicate effectively, or take responsibility for their actions undermines the stability and trust that are essential for a strong marriage. Choosing to marry someone who lacks emotional maturity is a decision that comes with significant risks. While no one is perfect, emotional maturity is a fundamental quality that cannot be overlooked. It is the foundation upon which effective communication, conflict resolution, and emotional intimacy are built. Without it, a marriage becomes a constant struggle, defined by misunderstandings, frustrations, and unmet needs. When considering a life partner, look beyond surface-level compatibility and assess their ability to navigate the complexities of a relationship with maturity and grace. Pay attention to how they handle stress, conflicts, and accountability. Emotional maturity is not just a desirable quality, it is a necessity for the health and longevity of any marriage. Choosing a partner who demonstrates emotional maturity ensures that you are building a partnership rooted in respect, understanding, and a shared commitment to growth. Personal growth is the ongoing process of self-improvement and learning. It involves confronting weaknesses, embracing change, and striving to be a better version of oneself over time. In a marriage, personal growth is essential, not just for the individual, but for the health and longevity of the relationship. A partner who avoids personal growth, whether through complacency, fear of change, or a lack of self-awareness, can hinder the progress of the relationship, creating a dynamic that is stagnant, frustrating, and ultimately unfulfilling. When a partner avoids personal growth, it often signals a resistance to change. Change is an inevitable part of life, and successful relationships depend on both partners adapting to new challenges, circumstances, and phases of life. For example, marriage itself requires adjustments as two individuals learn to share responsibilities, accommodate each other's needs, and work toward common goals. A partner who resists change may struggle to adapt, insisting on clinging to old habits or patterns that no longer serve the relationship. This rigidity creates tension, as their inability to grow and adapt forces their partner to shoulder more of the emotional and practical burden of the relationship. Avoiding personal growth also reflects a lack of self-awareness. A person who is unwilling to reflect on their actions, attitudes, or behaviors is unlikely to recognize how these impact their partner and the relationship as a whole. For instance, they might dismiss constructive feedback or react defensively when their shortcomings are brought to light. This lack of self-awareness makes it difficult to address issues constructively, as they are unwilling to acknowledge their role in problems or take steps to improve. Over time, this dynamic can lead to feelings of frustration and resentment, as their partner feels unheard and unsupported in their efforts to foster a stronger connection. Another way avoidance of personal growth manifests is through complacency. A complacent partner may be content to coast through life without setting goals, seeking new experiences, or challenging themselves to improve. While this might seem harmless at first, it can create a sense of stagnation in the relationship. Imagine being with someone who shows no interest in advancing their career, developing new skills, or pursuing personal passions. This lack of ambition can be disheartening, especially if you are someone who values growth and progress. It can leave you feeling as though you are carrying the weight of the relationship's aspirations alone. A partner who avoids personal growth may also struggle to take accountability for their actions. Growth requires acknowledging mistakes and learning from them, but someone who avoids this process may instead shift blame onto others or dismiss their errors entirely. This refusal to take responsibility creates a dynamic where conflicts are left unresolved and patterns of hurtful behavior are repeated. Without accountability, the relationship cannot evolve as one partner is unwilling to do the work necessary to address and overcome challenges. The avoidance of personal growth also impacts emotional intimacy. Growth involves exploring one's emotions, understanding their triggers, and learning how to communicate effectively. A partner who avoids this process may have difficulty expressing their feelings or empathizing with yours. They might shut down during conflicts, avoid difficult conversations, or dismiss your emotions as unimportant. This lack of emotional engagement creates a barrier to deep connection, leaving you feeling isolated and disconnected within the relationship. Financial irresponsibility and avoidance of personal growth often go hand in hand, as both reflect a reluctance to embrace the discipline and effort required for long-term success. For example, a partner who avoids personal growth might also avoid setting financial goals, planning for the future, or learning how to manage money effectively. This lack of foresight and effort places the burden of financial planning squarely on you, creating an imbalance that strains the partnership. The refusal to grow can also have a profound impact on shared goals and dreams. In a marriage, both partners bring their own aspirations to the table, and working together to achieve them requires a willingness to adapt and improve. A partner who avoids growth may become a roadblock to these aspirations, either by dismissing their importance or by failing to contribute the effort needed to make them a reality. For instance, if you dream of starting a family or building a business together, a partner who avoids personal growth may be unwilling or unable to rise to the occasion, leaving you feeling unsupported and unfulfilled. Perhaps most importantly, avoiding personal growth stifles the potential for the relationship itself to grow. Healthy relationships are dynamic and evolving, shaped by the efforts and experiences of both partners. When one partner refuses to grow, the relationship becomes stagnant, stuck in a cycle of unmet potential and unaddressed issues. This stagnation can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction and hopelessness as the relationship fails to progress toward the deeper connection and shared achievements that marriage is meant to offer. Choosing to marry someone who avoids personal growth is not just a decision about the present, it is a decision about the future. A partner's unwillingness to grow will shape every aspect of your life together, from how conflicts are resolved to how dreams are pursued. Marriage is a journey, and it requires both partners to be active participants in their own development and in the growth of the relationship. By avoiding personal growth, a partner signals a lack of readiness to embark on this journey, leaving you to navigate its challenges alone. In the end, personal growth is not optional in a successful marriage, it is essential. A partner who embraces growth brings resilience, adaptability, and self-awareness to the relationship, creating a foundation for lasting love and mutual respect. Conversely, a partner who avoids growth undermines this foundation, leaving the relationship vulnerable to stagnation and collapse. When considering a life partner, choose someone who is committed to growth, both for themselves and for the relationship. Only then can you build a marriage that thrives and evolves over time. Marriage is one of the most profound commitments you will ever make, shaping not only your future but also your sense of purpose and fulfillment. Choosing the right partner is not a matter of fleeting emotions or surface compatibility. It is a decision that demands careful thought and discernment. The wrong partnership can drain your energy, stifle your growth, and undermine the joy that a healthy relationship should bring. By avoiding individuals who exhibit chronic negativity, financial irresponsibility, emotional immaturity, a lack of personal growth, or controlling tendencies, you are safeguarding your well-being and creating the foundation for a meaningful and lasting union. A marriage should be a source of strength and partnership, rooted in trust, mutual respect, and shared aspirations. It is not a space for toxicity, stagnation, or constant battles to fix what cannot or will not change. The person you choose to marry should uplift, inspire, and challenge you in the best possible ways. They should share your vision for the future and work alongside you to build a life of stability, joy, and resilience. Never settle for less than a partnership that nurtures your growth, values your worth, and fosters the deep connection that a lifetime commitment deserves.